Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Learn with Luke. Today we're going to walk through packing and shipping as it relates to Xometry jobs. I'm Luke, Xometry's community and marketplace engagement lead, and I'm joined today by Lauren Brown. Lauren, how's it going? And do you want to give everybody who's watching a little introduction?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lauren, and I lead the partner development and performance here at Xometry. And my goal is to help our shops learn how to best succeed as a Xometry partner, whether that's helping them understand our onboarding processes, how the job board or shop finances work, or performance expectations, which includes the packaging procedures that we're here to discuss.
Awesome. So yeah, Lauren's going to walk us through some basics of packing and shipping and give us some tips and tricks. So first, what we're going to want to do is actually find the articles in the community. So I'm going to share my screen. So when we come into our Xometry community, we will first go into the partner network and then come down to the Xometry partner guide. Once we are here, we will scroll down and see this packing and shipping on the left navigation. Click into it and it has our packing instructions and our shipping instructions. So here you can find packing best practices, differences between CNC and additive packing guides, tips and tricks to packaging, and then shipping instructions. So that's kind of enough for me. So we're going to flip it to Lauren now. So let me stop sharing. And then first question we have, Lauren, is can you give us a brief introduction to packing and shipping and its importance?
Sure. So most of the parts that our partners make will be sent directly to the customer. So the packaging has to be both presentable and protective of the parts inside. Packages might be jostled or roughly handled during transit, and parts that aren't adequately protected can be badly dented or scratched. If a part is damaged due to poor packaging, the partner is expected to then rework or remake the part and then repackage it correctly, which can be expensive and time-consuming. So packaging the parts properly the first time can save your facility money and time. Our packaging procedures can guide you on the best practices to package your parts of varying size, material, and quantities.
Yeah, okay, that's awesome. So then when you're looking at packaging and shipping, what should partners pay the closest attention to?
Definitely selecting the correct box. The correct box size will allow for a minimum of 1 inch between the part and the exterior walls of the box. The parts should never be touching the cardboard. Using double-walled boxes for heavy parts over 20 pounds will add an extra layer of protection and durability during transit. A single-walled box can't adequately protect parts 20 pounds or heavier. Long boxes over 24 inches should be double-walled.
Okay. So then that kind of leads me into what are the best practices in regarding packing and shipping?
Sure. So soft metals like copper, brass, and zinc should always be packed with more care. Knowing that the parts will move around during transit, partners should always use thick craft paper and bubble wrap with the bubbles facing inward to protect the separate the parts. Cardboard dividers should also be used to keep parts from touching each other. And if bag and tag is required, only one part can go in each bag, even if it's a high quantity order. Also, taping around the edges and corners of the box will ensure that nothing opens during transit.
So then what are some common mistakes that your team sees and how can partners avoid them?
Right, so choosing a box where just the parts barely fit, leaving no room between the part and the outside of the box is a very common issue. Another mistake is shipping by FedEx when freight would have been the better choice. So FedEx will take boxes that weigh up to 150 pounds. However, we recommend never to package a box over 60 pounds. If you can't split your order up and the box is over 60 pounds, it's always good to request freight shipment from Xometry. Also request freight if the size of the part is longer than 52 inches in any direction.
Okay, cool. So we can actually find the tips and tricks in the community. There's an article based on that stuff there. But Lauren, do you have any other pieces of advice or tips for the people that are watching?
I have a few photos of some real life examples of packaging mistakes that we've seen and tips on how to avoid them.
Okay.
So with these pictures, you definitely want to reinforce all the edges and corners with tape. These are some examples of boxes that didn't have tape on the sides, and as you can see, the corners of the boxes split open, and in one case, the part actually fell out completely. So you definitely want to use double-walled boxes, again, for 20-pound or more shipments, and tape every edge of the box. This next slide, definitely do not use packing peanuts, particularly if it's your only protection. So as you can see here, the parts moved around in the peanuts, which allowed the edges of the actual part to rub against the cardboard, causing a lot of damage to the corners and edges of the part. So don't use packing peanuts, use thick craft paper and bubble wrap to protect your parts. And this last example, again, if it's over 60 pounds or over 52 inches, always choose freight over FedEx. So as you can see in the pictures, these parts should have gone freight, but they instead went FedEx and were heavily damaged. As you can see, the corners and edges were most likely slammed against the ground as the person tried to carry them. So definitely always request a freight shipment to avoid damage. You can do this either by asking your case manager, or if you're not working with a case manager, you can either use the ask a question function in your job details page, or you can email work@xometry.com and just tell us the estimated weights and dimensions of your packages, and then we will arrange the freight shipment for you.
Wow, that was great. Well, I learned a ton. I'm sure a lot of our community members have too, and partners that are going to watch this. And so, Lauren, thanks a ton for joining us. Thanks everyone else for watching. Join me next week for another episode of Learn with Luke. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.